Well, I guess if you're watching this, I finally went through with it. It's easy to make a short, pop up these little videos where you do an unboxing, but I've had this thought to do my entire collection of a series individually and show you how you put together a loose collection with no internet, no mail order, just hunting stuff. So I thought, what place would be better to start than something from Jakks specific? We've done some Titantron stuff live, we've done some Bone Cruncher stuff live, but there's a lot of other stuff from Jakks that I'd like to get into that we haven't done. So in this video, I'm going to do my absolute best to run you through my Ruthless Aggression figures that I've found, figure by figure, let you know what the price would be for this figure if you was to buy it loose, and we're gonna hopefully be able to show you a mint on card version. I just got to do a lot of work, and I'm still researching as I'm doing this intro here. I'm kind of jumping the gun, but yeah, hopefully this goes good. We'll see. To put together a collection with no internet, no mail order. You gotta hunt it down, then you gotta research it afterwards, and that's where things get tricky. So over time I've been able to put together this collection of Ruthless Aggression figures, or in some cases what I thought was Ruthless Aggression figures. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But I would say, so in 1995-96, Jakks Pacific started putting out these Bone Crunchers. That kind of hooked you in as a kid, and I got quite a collection of Bone Crunchers. That's what started me with Jakks, and they put a ton of these figures out. Not a whole lot of articulation, but way more than you were getting back in the day, because what you had before that was Hasbro's. So you finally get some articulation with these Bone Crunchers, and then they start to come out with a new idea. They start to mix things up. They come up with things like this. So that is Stomp figures. Special, Tactical, Optical, Military Police. So there is a mint on card. One of, actually I'll just grab that. So there's a 1 of 5,000 Sable. You can see all the ridiculous armored gear and stuff that they come with. This was where they went. That was around, I'd say 97-ish. They did multiple series. But then they moved into some weird stuff. Like the Maximum Sweats. Around 98. They realized the weird little gimmick things didn't really go nowhere. And there was some other stuff to come out, Havocs and stuff. But then we went to Titantrons. And the whole plan behind this Titantron thing was this, which is the Titantron Live. There's the box for it right there. So the Titantron Live was huge. You could take a wrestler, had a little thing on the bottom of their foot, you put it onto the entrance there, it would play their music. So for kids at that time, you were stoked about that. And that was around 99. But then they started to mess with Ruthless Aggression before they actually put them out. And towards the end of this, we'll get into why that was and how that was. Because that's what had me puzzled and had me categorizing my figures wrong. And that rock figure there on the entrance is the one that threw me for a loop. So first figure we'll go into, because I want to tell you how incredibly crazy it was and show you, is this Undertaker figure here. So let me show you this figure meant on card, and I'll give you maybe some stats with it. Now, could I be wrong about this? Absolutely, I have limited knowledge. Not to mention, they didn't just do lines, they started doing pay-per-view specifics. So here you go. It could be this 2006 Survivor Series. It could be Series 19, One Night Stand. Heck, it could be Series 20, Cyber Sunday. Or, no, maybe it's Royal Rumble. No, probably the road to WrestleMania 24. And then it just got crazy. Look, there's 3 figure sets. So work with me on this. I try my best to get it correct, but... Okay, so now you understand what I mean when I say it was just confusing. I mean, you tell me. What Taker do you think it was? Do you think maybe it was the Cyber Sunday? I mean, you leave in the comments. Let me know which one you think it is. The figure, the foot says 2003 on the bottom. So, that one was such a brain buster that I need an easy one. Next, we're doing Jesse the Body Ventura. And I know where this one came from because I opened it, meant on card. Okay, so if you want to see more on that figure and see us unbox it, you go check the channel out. It is in the live videos. So, let's move. Let's do, well, I tell you what, let's do Chuck Palumbo. Biker Chuck Palumbo. So that Palumbo 2-pack was something I remember being very common. But one that definitely was not common, and is actually his rookie figure and his only figure, would be the Matt Morgan. This one was something I didn't know much about at all. So moving from the Matt Morgan figure, let's move to the Psychosis from the Mexicals. This one, I kind of remember, but kind of don't. So the Psychosis figure does throw a bit of a wrench into things because I'm confident that it was a 2-pack that this came from, but there was a single release that was actually kind of rare, but I don't think that's where this one came from. And moving from the Psychosis figure, we'll go ahead and jump over to Kid Cash. And from Kid Cash, we'll jump right next to it to Eddie Guerrero, and possibly maybe one of the best Eddie Guerrero figures I've ever seen, Latino Heat. Now if you're doing a Latino heat figure, why would you not do a Chavo figure? Alright, so now let's do Randy Orton. So this figure is another one that makes things tricky. This Ring Rage is a half series, 18.5, and then you have small variations, which this one here from Ruthless Aggression was just gold. So deco changes made things difficult. So after the Orton figure, might as well do the rated R Edge figure. And from the Edge figure, let's spin all the way over here and do an important one for the time, Eric Bischoff. So from Bischoff, let's jump up and do this Cena figure, which was a strange one because it got down to the variations all the way down to just white shoes or black shoes. So this was another one that made it very difficult to research because this one looks right, but it's not. It doesn't have the white armband like this one here. And then you have the white shoes, and then you have gold rings on some of these other ones like this one here, which is not correct. It's silver. So then from the Cena figure, we jump over to the all-white Matt Striker figure that often gets confused for the Kozlov figure. After Striker, we do the Rob Van Dam figure, which was probably one of the hardest ones that I had to find. So this is one of the other figures I had the most trouble finding. The thing of it is, the figure said 2003 on the foot, but it wasn't released until 2006. And then I stumbled across crazy stuff like this. And then from the Rob figure, we jump over to his old tag team partner, Sabu. After finally figuring out the Sabu figure, let's go to Booker T. So after Booker, let's do this Edge, which I had quite a bit of trouble finding. So this was another one that made it tricky because the figure said 2003 on it, but it wasn't released till 2006. And if you remember this, this was legitimate soap opera. Edge messing around with Lita when she was with Matt. So after finding that one and going through all the troubles, we jump over to one more Edge. Edge is a ref. This one was tricky. So after our referee Edge, let's go to the biggest figure that they ever put out, the Great Khali, which dwarfs all the other Ruthless Aggression figures. So this Khali figure was another tricky one. It was released so many different ways, special ones, limited ones, but I believe it to be this Adrenaline here. But the problem is I'm seeing that there's a Cena with that, which could have been the Cena from earlier, so thanks for making things difficult, Jakks. So after the Khali, things kind of got confusing for me because I didn't really know where this Bubba Ray Dudley come from because it's almost statue-like. But I quickly figured out where it was from. Alright, so I was completely off on this one. Not a Ruthless Aggression figure. Fatal 4-Way. There's a blue variant. The price on these things is down pretty low right now, and they are rare, so I would say get them if you find them. So after figuring out that Bubba, this became the trickiest one, which is this Rock figure. which turned out not to be a Ruthless Aggression figure at all, but a Titantron Live figure. Alright, so this is the point where my brain started to short circuit. That's not correct. That's purple deco. Then I found it. And I'm like, okay, well, still I don't understand what that's from. Here it is. Finishing moves. It was a 2-pack, and it would display them as they were doing finishing moves. It came in multiple different ways, and in multiple different series. The problem was that I did end up finding single versions, but that single version also was in the wrong deco. So they came out like 4 different ways, and here's another version. I think these are what actually inspired the Ruthless Aggression figures. So after weeks of researching these figures, and day after day of trying to find the visuals, I've somehow made it through this. This is probably the hardest video I've ever put together. I have other channels. I've made thousands of videos. I've never had to put this amount of work into anything. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you want to do some more of these. I don't mind doing the work if you guys enjoy these. But and also, like I said before, I am not the end-all be-all knowledgeable dude when it comes to Jakks specific stuff, especially the Ruthless Aggression. So let me know if I made a mistake and if you know any better. So thanks for watching, and go out and find some figs.